his limit is up to this point. But making these barriers between the colleagues is very important. We know that some of them, either according to age, maybe they are in R1, but they're still the same colleague as the R4 colleague in age, because maybe he was not accepted in the program, but he feels a psychological problem. It is very noticeable, in fact. And sometimes in some centers where you have only, for example, junior residents, it will be very dangerous for them, because either they overestimate their level and they want to do something more because they are the only residents available in this center. I think explaining to them and teaching them exactly what level they have, what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do.
لا أنا عارفك بس عشان عندنا ميتنج الله.
Yes. Dr. Ammar, you have some input?
ما شاء الله تبارك الله يعطيكم العافيه الشباب، تكلموا كثير عن التيم وورك في السيم سبيشاليتي، لكن برضه الكولابوريشن يجي كمان از تيم وورك with the other specialty. هذا الشيء كمان لازم ايش نكون عارفينه مع الريزدنت، نعرف فيهم انه كلنا as a part of one team، يعني ما في it's not a one man show. انا ما اقدر اسوي السيرجري لوحدي من غير ما يكون معايا انستيزيست، من غير ما يكون معايا ريزدنت اسيستنت، من غير ما يكون معايا النيرس اللي في الاو ار اسيستنت، النيرس اللي بيسوي الكير. لا، لازم نكون كلنا one team together، كلنا شغالين مع بعض. فكل واحد has his own job، المفروض عارف الشيء ده، ولازم كلنا involve اللي هو ليش المين جول حقنا اللي هو البيشنت كير اللي يكون عندنا في النهايه. فهذه اللي برضه ايش اللي حبيت اضيفها as a collaboration في التيم ورك.
Okay, great input. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, this is a very manager. If we define the manager, all of us are not so good managers, because we have to contribute effectively and deliver of healthcare system, knows how to prioritize effectively the tasks, and knows how to allocate scarce healthcare resources. Now, what I have seen with all my experience of the past 30 years in most of the healthcare facilities, the doctors are all the time saying, "Ya akhi, I am a doctor. I don't want to get involved in the management. I don't care what the budget is. I don't care what is the price of this procedure. I am doing my doctors as a this is my profession, and I'm doing it, and I don't care about others." So this defect definitely affects the whole cycle of medical education. As a manager, we should be not only doing our job as a doctor, we should help the system effectively implement the system of the organization which we are working in. We should prioritize in the department how we manage the department. We are talking about OR schedules, we are talking about duty schedules, we are talking about on-calls, on duties, who comes, vacations. All these are part of being a manager. But what we see in the residency program, still, they don't get involved as a manager in the programs. And I think this is one of the big gaps that we are watching in our residency program so far. I don't know whether the panel would agree with my opinion or they have a different opinion. Let's hear. I leave it now for you to participate as you like. Who likes to get his feedback on this point as a manager? أيوة دكتور حضراوي تفضل.
والله I agreed دكتور خالد إنه to say that I don't have things to do with the business. I'm just doing my job as a doctor, and he left everything يعني to the others. I think this is not the way it should be handled. A doctor I think he should be on the top of the group, and he should coordinate, and he should يعني put his input and don't leave the things just to go like that. I think he should manage, and from this word manage came the manager. So the doctor should be the manager, and he should يعني interfere with everything in the whole process.
I have one out of my experience, one of my professors at night when we left a clinic, it was a university clinic and a huge complex. He was going, when we left the clinic, he was going in each room and put the light off.
Mm-hmm.
In the corridors, in his rooms, in the next room, he saw it, the light was on, he was putting it off. And I was asking, why you are doing this? He said, you see, the electricity bill will affect all of our salaries if we don't manage to participate in this. This is just one example of how the skills being a manager should be really put in the brain of the residents. But I don't see this part as a manager is part of the exams or part of the evaluation, assessment and evaluation of our residents. Do you agree with me this, Dr. Ammar?
اي والله totally agree. برضو as a manager like to add يعني بارت منها لما يكون في عندنا السينيور ريزيدنت يكون هو الشيف ريزيدنت. الشيف ريزيدنت برضو he can play a role of the manager بالteaching للجونيور ريزيدنت بالtaking responsibility as an acting specialist. يعني برضو في هذه الاوقات يقدر يشتغل as a leader، ونحن برضو نديله الفول كونتاكت مع البيشنت، مع برضو بيشوف يتكلم عن مع نفس الادمنستريشن كيف لانه في النهايه كلنا عندنا الفاينل جول حقنا اللي هو البيشنت كير. احنا عندنا كلنا شغالين في المستشفى for the patient itself.
Okay. Dr. Nadeem, you have some input?
And I think the manager role differs from being a junior to a senior to a consultant level. As a junior, I don't expect him to manage a lot of resources and problems with the administration. But I expect that each year I have to show the resident on a resident level, your role as a leader or manager has become this and that and that. Okay, so I expect him as a junior to manage his own schedule, his own calls, and because it's a new life for him, so he has to manage the time in the hospital, at home, if he has a family. So he starts with time management as a beginning. Then he starts to manage his rounds, his patient care, his writing his notes, OR schedule, and all this he has to manage at first. Then when he starts becoming a senior to a consultant level, he adds more roles to his job. One is managing the on-call schedule of the whole team. One is managing the resources, for example, in the OR. If we're missing a certain type of instrument, he has to go and look and ask if we have something else in stock or something that we can replace it. But the manager role differs as we go in age.
How do you, Doctor, how do you assess your resident when it comes to management?
I give him expectations. As a junior, I expect him, and as we sit with them, as Dr. Fadl said in the beginning, I expect you at the end of before 12 o'clock to have made the whole round, covered your notes, dealt with emergency cases, or for example. And I have to sit with them. We have to sit with them and show them the same thing that happened to us. I have to follow up with them, just not go give orders and wait for them to mature by themselves. No, we have to lead them also.
Great.
ممكن مداخلة
Dr. Khalid, If I
أيوة
may
تفضل.
add,
Yes,
um,
Dr.
I
Fadl.
think,
تفضل.
I think you mentioned this is a very important point. A manager or a leader is a very important job for the whole program, I think, because if a leader or a manager was not perfect enough to deal with a group, with the team as a whole, it's not only his team, as we said, is other department relations, hospital relations, is the equipment and the preparation, and teaching the senior residents how to be also a manager. Follow him up how he's dealing with his seniors, in addition to his clinical work. We face this, in fact, in government hospitals where they don't find, except the senior one, and to be the head of the department and doing everything. And then they ask him to follow up even small things in the department and in the hospital. So how to be a manager and leader is a big issue. It needs a support from all other departments, maybe in the hospitals. It needs more relation, even the social relation with all your residents to deal with. So we hope that our senior residents can be in one day exactly, even as a senior or after they graduate. As you said, postgraduates, you feel sometimes the graduates is not that good enough because he was not teach how to be a leader or how to be a manager. And it depends on the personalities.
Yeah, that exactly what I'm saying, Dr.
Yep.
Fadl. As a manager, we don't have a real assessment tools. I mean, we have the assessment tools, but we are not implementing it, and we don't put it in the final assessment of the residents, whether he's a good manager or not. We evaluate and assess skills, attitude sometimes, but manager, I don't see grades or codes effectively how to assess our resident as managers.
There is only supervising, Dr. Khalid, I think, supervising points.
The supervising point, but most of our, let's say, يعني خلينا نقول هي بصراحة كلنا بنحاول إنه إحنا نغطي على الريزيدنت شوي، نعاملهم شوية حنية زي. ولكن when it comes to effectively, I don't evaluate my resident as a manager. I know this resident will never be a manager because he does not have that skills.
Right.
Dr. Khalid, we can let them, for example, lead a round مثلا. You know, we start the morning round. نقول فلان وفلاني, you go ahead, you're the consultant today, do the round. ونمشي واحنا طبعا نكون معاهم. The same way goes for the clinics, مع انه حتكون شويه صعبه, but it's doable. يعني انه the clinic, they see the patient قبلنا ب5 دقائق and we go in. Those are, يعني, to assess how
nice example. Nice example. I will follow this in my department. حينزعجوا مني الشباب كده.
لا تحطها فيا بعدين بالله.
ما في غير. Let's go to the next slide, please.